I was exhausted. I had put everything on the line to get this book out there and published. And by the end of that day, it was a bestseller. It was a bestseller in all of its categories on Amazon, which is mind-boggling. It's health, it's well-being. It's like the hardest categories to be able to become a bestseller in. And we did it. In less than a day, on launch day, on the launch party, before we'd even finished and tidied up, it had become an actual bestseller, which is mind-boggling to me, absolutely mind-boggling, and reassuring that the need for it and the ongoing need for it was worth the toil and the stress and the facing my challenges to get there and be there.
Welcome to Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, the podcast where honest conversation meets real evidence-based solutions for your pelvic health. I'm Claire Sparrow, second-generation Pilates teacher, educator and best-selling author. I'm here to help you understand your body better, move with confidence and finally get answers that make sense. Each week, we'll bust myths, share insights from movement science and pelvic health research, and give you practical steps you can actually use in your everyday life. Because pelvic health isn't just about exercises, it's about reconnecting with yourself, one breath, one choice, and one movement at a time. Let's get started.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, and it's an exciting one. Today, as I record this episode, it is actually the 2-year birthday of my book, Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, and it feels really exciting and bizarre to be looking back over 2 years of the book and how much has happened, what personally has happened, and also what's happened for the book and the mission of the book in that time. And in today's episode, I thought you might be interested to hear a little bit of the backstory and the journey to this point, what's happened since the book. And another thing that I am super excited to hear about from you, the listeners, and all of the members on my membership is what you think is next for Hope for Your Pelvic Floor. I have so many ideas whirling around my head, and when I was in the process of writing, or even before writing the book, in fact, I knew that I needed to write the book. And there was just this little voice in my head that was constantly saying that really you need to write a book. This will reach more women if you put it in a book. And I have one or two similar things going round in my head at the moment, but I want to hear from you, the regular listeners, the regular members, the people who've really been on this journey, and you are here looking for hope for your pelvic floor. What next? What else do you think hope can bring for you? And I'm going to ask you to let me know by dropping me either an email or a DM on Instagram to let me know what else you would like. And before we get into the episode, I also wanted to share with you the success of the Pelvic Health Café. It's been wild. I have had so many people joining us from all over the world. And this most recent one, we got into the nitty-gritty. We got right in there talking all the details, asking all the questions. And I'm not going to go into that here in this episode, but that's what this space is for. The Pelvic Health Cafe space is literally for asking the questions and saying out loud the things that you hesitate about, that you might feel a bit, slightly cringe, like, I know I need to ask, I need to know the answer to this, but that means I have to say these words out loud. I have to say these words in relation to my own body, and we go there. This group is so amazing and so inspiring. I was so excited in this last meeting where we all got together and really deeply shared. And this is totally free. We meet every month. The next one will be Friday, the 1st of November. So you've got enough time to get it in your diary and get organized to come. It's not recorded. You have to be on camera to be in the room. And you don't have to say anything, but you just have to be present in the room. And it is really growing into the vision that I had for it. So 1st of November is the next Pelvic Health Café. I'll put the link below. If you've been before, you'll get a reminder anyway. And I look forward to seeing you there. Now, Hope for Your Pelvic Floor is the name of the podcast. It's the book. It was released on the 13th of October, 2023. On the morning of that launch day, I did a little Instagram video, and you can go onto my Instagram because I reshared it actually today, because the look on my face, the sheer exhaustion, delirium, giddiness, all wrapped up into one, you can really see it. I was exhausted. I had put everything on the line to get this book out there and published. And by the end of that day, it was a bestseller. It was a bestseller in all of its categories on Amazon, which is mind-boggling. And it's, it's health, it's well-being. It's like the hardest categories to be able to become a bestseller in. And we did it in less than a day. On launch day, on the launch party, before we'd even finished and tidied up, it had become an actual bestseller, which is mind-boggling to me, absolutely mind-boggling. And reassuring that the need for it and the ongoing need for it was worth the toil and the stress and the facing my challenges to get there and be there. Most of you already know that I am dyslexic, and the challenge was real. I had to overcome so much, all the stories I told myself, all the things that I had been told, all comes flooding back to you. The teacher that made me sit on my own and not talk to anybody in the class and was not very kind at times because she just thought I was distracting and didn't concentrate, and that if I just tried harder, I could spell and memorize the spellings and write things in the right order. But that wasn't the case. I was dyslexic and undiagnosed as dyslexic. And my way of coping with that was to build a good vocabulary and to talk. And I could speak, as I can and do all the time, even now. I could speak it out. But then when I would write it down, I would have to use a very simplistic way of writing because I couldn't translate from verbal to written. I couldn't spell the words, so I just didn't use those words. So, it was a lot. It was a lot to then sit down and write a book. And it all came about because one day I was working with a client who had really been pivotal in me developing the whole body pelvic health method. And she said to me, you are the voice of hope. It's more than just the exercises you're teaching. It's the conviction, it's the hope, it's the faith, it's the understanding and knowledge and the way that you bring it forward that brings hope for women. Because at the end of the day, what I believe to this day is that you can make the difference to your pelvic health. I can give you the tools and I'm constantly putting them out there. I can't do it for you. You need to believe in yourself and have that hope that you can do something. That accepting incontinence or prolapse, that's just not the way it has to be. Like, we're told or we believe there's some unwritten rule that if we do the strength-based exercises and it doesn't work, we just have to accept it. It's just part of life. It's just aging. It's whatever, but we're accepting it. And I'm just not for that at all, as you know. And the idea of bringing the book into your hands was to provide you with the hope so that you could take the tools inside of the book and actually take control for yourself. And that was really huge for me, that turning point moment where I'd had this niggling voice and she reinforced that. And then, of course, procrastination sets in because I know it's going to be hard. And I was busy. I have 3 kids. I run a studio. I'm doing a lot of teaching. So it felt like, how am I even going to fit this into my life? And I started gradually, just tentatively researching, where would you even begin to write a book? And what would be the different sorts of options? And I looked into finding an agent and traditional publishing with a publishing house and the process that would be. And it was crazy because it takes about 2 years really minimum. And I thought, gosh, that's interesting that it really created a feeling in my body when I did that research that I would have to find an agent and that could take a year. And then it could take about 2 years to get an actual publisher and get the book somewhere near publishing. And I just felt kind of sick in the pit of my stomach that it could take so long before this message, this information could reach women. And I already had a feeling of frustration that when it comes to research and getting research through the NICE guidelines, for example, and into the NHS, it can take at least 10 years, but the research itself might take 10 years to become the valid level it needs to be at to then be looked at by the NICE guidelines. So I'm thinking all of these time frames just feel so long, and women need some hope now and some steps to take now. And it was that frustration and sick feeling in my belly that really made me look at what other ways there are for publishing a book and getting information out there. So I started looking into self-publishing. I looked at people that I knew that had self-published. I found lots of different coaches and courses and people who are out there supporting non-fiction writers getting their books out there into the world. And that's where I came to find my coach, Jake, and he was interviewed on a podcast that is with a coach who I'd done some previous coaching with, who I really trusted, rated, valued. And I thought, if he is with this person on their podcast, he's got to be bona fide. He's got to be good. And we did a call where he talked to me about my idea and my vision and what it was for, like what was my big why behind it. And it was the most amazing call. I got so much value out of that. I knew that he had to be my coach. So I made the investment. And let me tell you, from, just a factual point of view, it's an investment to write a book and put it out there in the world in this way. It's an investment. It costs a lot for the person doing that to do it, to have the book coach, to get the editor, to the proofreader, to the person that actually has to put the formatting of the book together. There's a lot of processes, to the book cover design, all of these things that you need to invest in. And I believed wholeheartedly with every atom of my being in the need for this information to go into a book and get into the hands of women everywhere, that there was no question. I wanted to make that investment so that it was not going to take 2 years or 3 years or 10 years for women to start to have hope and the tools to make a difference to their pelvic health and ultimately to their life, because it's not about just having your pelvic floor working right. It's having it working right so that you can live a normal life, so that you're not constantly thinking about it and being held back by it. So I took on my coach, and his ideas that you can plan and write in 6 months. And I was like, okay, family, can we do this? We had our family meeting, we discussed it, we decided, yes, we can commit 6 months to the hard graft of pulling this book together. And it was pretty much, it was ready for the editor at 6 months, which to me, even as I say that, I think, how was that even possible while I was doing everything else? And then it was 9 months to publish and release launch date, which is in itself quite crazy. You know, I birthed this book in the same amount of time that it took me to grow and birth my babies. It's just quite interesting and thoughtful that that was the case. And it was amazing. The process that he taught me made it possible. I can't imagine being able to do it without a process. So we created almost like boxes to fill, and then I filled the boxes, and then I edited the boxes, and it just made it so possible. And right from the very beginning, the goal of the book, and it still stands today, was to put hope in the hands of women everywhere. And that's what the book can do. It can literally give hope. And that's why it's called Hope for Your Pelvic Floor. And right back to the day where my client said to me, "You're the voice of hope," I knew that hope was so fundamental to the book. And then, of course, it became the name. And it's Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, 6 practical principles. And so it's not just the hope piece, it's the actual practical steps. The steps that are in there are broken down in my whole body pelvic health method. It is my method in that book. And alongside that, I gave and created a companion course so that those people like me who need to do it practically, feel it practically, you would have those steps there to do it practically. And also because reading about it, getting the inspiration isn't enough. You need to take action and feel that. So I think the next part would be the averages and the statistics, I suppose you would call it. When obviously I said in the date, that launch date became a bestseller, which is still mind-blowing to me. And what it then got me to look into to share with you today was some of the statistics about books, which is really, really interesting because on average, published non-fiction books like mine sell over their entire lifetime between 100 and 250 copies. So for the whole lifetime of that non-fiction book, the maximum that is sold is 250 copies. That's mind-boggling, isn't it? So for traditional publishing of a non-fiction book, it will be 1,000 copies, up to 1,000. That's like the maximum. So 250 is the maximum if it's self-published, and 1,000 is the maximum if it's traditionally published. And that again is over the lifetime of the book. This is where it gets really exciting and I get goosebumps because Hope for Your Pelvic Floor has sold in its first 2 years, and it's still selling every day. It has sold 2,500 copies, which is way above what the normal average would be for self-publishing, and way, way above what the average is for a traditionally published book. And it's selling on average 1 to 2 copies a day, so about 9 per week. And in more than 12 countries, we did the audiobook this year, and it's Kindle and paperback as well. So we've got it on all the formats. It's in all kinds of countries all over the place, and it is selling way above average. And what that means and why I'm sharing that with you is because it really proves that we're all out there, women listening now all over the globe, looking for hope for their pelvic floor. asking for more for their pelvic floor. This is huge to me, and it should be huge to you as well, that there is a rising, there is an uplift, a community of women who are really stepping up and saying, no, enough is enough. I'm not going to accept that being told this is just the way it is. It's because you had big babies, or it's because of your age, or it's menopause. We are not accepting these excuses and ideas that we cannot make a difference to our pelvic floor, because the reality is we can. Hope for Your Pelvic Floor is the book that contains the method, the whole body pelvic health method that works, is working, that continues to work for women every day. So the fact that so many books have sold just means that women are seeking out more for their pelvic floor, and you are seeking out more. And it gives me this incredible motivation to keep going, because what I'm doing and what you're all doing with the whole body pelvic health method, it works and people need it. Women need it. So as we are at 2 years of Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, I feel as invested today as I did on the day I made the decision to write the book. I want to continue to bring the book to more women. It's why I locked myself in a room and recorded the audiobook with my incredible, long-suffering videographer and audio specialist to be able to bring that to you, to make it easier for you to have hope for your pelvic floor. So what next? Like I said at the beginning, I would love you to share with me what you would like next. What would help you continue to have hope for your pelvic floor? And what I'd also really love is for you, if you have been inspired by Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, to continue to share, to spread the word. If you haven't read it, read it. If you've read it, gift it. Pass it on, put it into the hands of another woman somewhere, someone that you think maybe, just maybe they need that hope for their pelvic floor. If you've read it, reread it. Maybe there's something you've missed. You know, always when we watch something, read something, learn something, when we go back and revisit it, there's something else. There's maybe some other message or some other bit of information that did not resonate with you first time, but when you reread it, you go, oh yes, actually, that applies to me. In the process of learning it, you will have learned about yourself. So when you read it first time, maybe you didn't know or feel or sense something, and then you read it again and you go, oh yes, since I read it, I've learned this about myself. I felt this about myself, and therefore this does apply to me. And something that's really key is the free companion course. That course is massive. It's golden. It's all the hits. It's all the best stuff that you need to really make an impact on your pelvic health. So if you've read it but you've not done the companion course, this is my call to you. Get on there. It's free. You've already bought the book. The course is free. So if you scan the QR code or follow the link in the book, you can then join me in the classes that will really truly lead you to restore and take back control of your pelvic floor. It really is key. The method truly works when you do the work of the whole body pelvic health method, and you dedicate and commit that love and appreciation to yourself. You know, I always say the same boring analogy, but you brush your teeth every day, you look after your oral health, your pelvic health needs that exact same level of dedication, routine, belief in the compounding interest of it. So go ahead, read it again, do the companion course, share it with a friend, get the audiobook, listen to it while you're walking the dog or doing the school run. It really will make such a difference to your belief systems about your pelvic floor, your pelvic health, and what's possible. And that's a wrap for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, you've learned something, and please do let me know what you would like from me next, because I'm planning lots of things and I want to make sure that it aligns with your goals, your dreams, your visions. And I will look forward to seeing and hearing and being with you in the next episode. Bye for now, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to Hope for Your Pelvic Floor. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, leave a review and share it with someone who needs it. It really does help more women find the hope they deserve. For deeper support, head over to wholebodypelvichealth.co.uk to explore the Whole Body Pelvic Health membership. You can ask for more from your pelvic floor and I'll be here, your voice of hope every step of the way.